There you go. Katie, you're wedding for free, if that's what you want.
And what is the food? $2,000 worth of bread.
You're such a snob.
Kidding.
Right, let's get back to the overall market. Art Laffer, smiling face with us. He's a Reagan economist, of course. All right, Art, you saw the inflation numbers this morning. 2.1% inflation over the past year. Are you worried about inflation?
Well, I am a little bit, but not very much. But let me just do on the economy, if I can, Stuart. You know, economics is like surgery. You've got to get it all right. We've got the tax bill in. That's beautiful. We've got deregulation. That's wonderful. If you look at free trade, the third pillar of supply side economics, he's doing a lot better than a lot of people thought he would, and I think he's going to do fine there. Then you've got spending restraint, which I'm worried about, but that is a correctable situation. The last one, which is really, really important right now, is king dollar. You cannot have a strong economy without a strong currency. It just doesn't happen. And the weakness of the dollar is why you see inflation numbers up, and it's also why you're seeing those interest rate numbers popping up a little bit. We need to reverse the policy on the dollar and get a king dollar back again, and I think this economy has nothing but upside.
What do you think about a trillion-dollar deficit in 2019 where we're running a 3% growth rate economy? That ain't right, is it?
No, it's not. But I'll tell you, a little bit of growth rate. If you get 3 or 4% growth and you go back to the Congressional Budget Office numbers and put in the 3% growth as opposed to the 1.91% growth they estimate, that will change the whole picture over the next 20 years. Debt as a share of GDP will start coming down, and you'll see the economy look a lot better. So growth is the answer here, period. But look, so as long as we get the growth, we're okay.
We've had, what, 9 years of expansion? OK, it wasn't great for the first 8 years, but now it's pretty good. 9 years of expansion. Do you really think we can have another 10 years of expansion at a 3 or 4% growth rate to get the deficit under control? I don't see that.
I do. If these policies are put into place, you could have a huge, long expansion, just like we did under Reagan to Clinton through Clinton. I mean, from 1983 on through 2000 to 1999, we had this phenomenal expansion. Kennedy had growth rates over 5% over his whole term. If you look at Reagan, since the 83, when the tax cuts took effect, it was well over 5%. So I think 3% growth is a modest forecast, and I'm expecting even better than that.
So when we talk about the debt bomb exploding at some point in the future, that doesn't worry Art Laffer?
It does worry Art Laffer. Of course it does, but it doesn't worry me inordinately, as if we get that growth up, that's the answer to the debt bomb, Stuart. You cannot balance the budget. You cannot bring debt down without economic growth. And if we get that economic growth, the debt bomb will take care of itself. It'll take a long time, and I'd love to see more spending restraint, but those are all curable problems. What's not curable in the short run is the weak dollar. We've got to reverse that policy to get interest rates down and the inflation rates down.
Does Art Laffer still think that the stock market is going to have another leg up?
Of course. Of course it will. I remember going up to L.A. from my home in San Diego in 1987 in October, and we had a 500-point drop that day in the stock market, which doesn't sound like a lot today, but back then that was 23% fall, Stuart.
I remember.
mean, and we bounced back nicely. If we do the policies correctly, this market will bounce back beautifully, and we will have a very good bull market for as far as the eye can see.
Okay,
and
we'll
the economy
take it.
If we don't, though, it'll go the other way.
We'll take it. Okay. All right. Thanks for joining us. Out of time.
Thank you, Stuart.
Got to
It's
run.
a real pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Check that market.